because we have to pay.
So this was written, like they have a thing, and sometimes they make you check. But like,
This is HD transparent milk.
Yeah, I could. I told my friend I would just wear 3 layers of clothing, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like, you just wear like 3 shirts or like layer it up.
sounds like you overpack.
I always overpack though. That's just how I am. I'm like overthinker. Does this not work?
Because you know you can wear the pants you have on. Pack.
I could wear 2 of these. Look like a bag man, a bag lady. So does this not work today? How many of y'all have a check sheet? You got 2 check sheets. You got 2 like this. So you all need this to graduate. And if you don't have it filled out yet, that's okay. We can fill it out. But it's every single class you need to graduate. And most of you, do you all have a check sheet?
Yeah, it's not for social work.
So you graduate. What's yours in?
Criminal justice.
Is that your major?
Mhm.
And then what's your, do you have a double major or you just?
No, I'm still debating.
So they let you take this as an elective?
No, I need it.
Really?
Yeah.
For criminal justice?
I'm not. Yeah.
No.
Well, it might be like, hold on. You gotta learn human behavior to be like.
Well, right. You need to learn, but I always thought it was only a social work class. Like you
Let me
needed
see.
prereqs to get into it, and that's the. So there's 9
Well,
social work.
I'm looking for my check sheet.
You've got like 21 electives, so that would be like 7 3-hour classes. You've got. It says 49 in social work.
Fall 16. Whose check sheet is this? All 10?
Confidential. It's confidential.
Is this yours? I'm sorry. You a young man, actually. That's not his. 2015.
I probably
wasn't
just
even that
deleted
far.
off the name because I wanted to keep it confidential. But this is what it would look like. You're right. So if you took the class in the fall of 2010, D's on this side. He always does. Always. He's like, give me the sign-in sheet.
No, I don't.
I'll watch it on YouTube.
Nah, look.
Yeah, you
Oh.
gotta join that YouTube.
Yeah, I'm about to
Because
look.
when I have to leave, I be on that YouTube. You don't be looking at my comments.
I
I be
try.
talking to you.
I try.
Yeah,
I
I be on
try.
there. So
I'm
like,
on
they
right
not
now.
signing that, or they is?
You can sign it. What do you have going on, dude? What's so important?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I got a little meeting with my Spanish.
Why you into this?
Because I missed some work. Because we using this red site called MindTap.
For who? For who's doing that?
Her
That
name's Tiffany
sounds-
Clark. She Spanish.
Oh no! Do they kick you off after
Yeah,
so
Spanish
long?
too.
Like I had
Yeah,
the
this is my
ticket
first
in there,
semester
and
taking it.
You gotta go back and redo it.
I think so. No way! I even went back and it's like, nope.
Spanish is my minor though, so I picked it. That's your minor too? But nah. But like, I'm about to tune in today.
So you're right. It's $38. See,
K2, I say K2. He don't even know what I said. Let me know what I said.
Take care, es muy bonita.
but I do want to spend the full 200. I mean, call me.
But you can use it later.
They want receipts for everything.
What do you say?
All right.
That's something sexy. K2. Oh my God.
So I wanted to go over this if we haven't yet. No need for any of y'all to panic if you like think that you all are you all sophomores and juniors?
Yeah.
Who's sophomores?
T.
And then who's juniors? Because you have 60 hours, 90 hours.
95.
Okay. So
Yeah, you are.
if you want a copy of this, just email me like jtrout@central say send sheet. Fill this in your stuff.
I'm working, that's what Nikki did.
Yeah.
I'm meeting with her today.
Right.
She was working on
Yep.
You don't graduate.
Transfer, some of my transfer credits just got home.
Okay. And I was going to say, no fret. If you get like a D on, so you need all C's on this side, right? In social work, you never can get a D. You always need C's. There's 9 classes. It says 49 hours, but most of them are right here. That's the majority of your hours. And then you also take stats, and you also take, oh, it's down here.
Oh yeah. That.
one elective.
You guys are so smart and young, you'll be okay.
I passed stats with a B.
Yeah.
I did online over the
Yeah.
summer.
Just fine.
Because they be trying to say, oh, it ain't no money in your field. Like, I just
Um,
want to help my community.
There's money, you just gotta get your license.
Okay, yeah, that's what.
Gotta get it, don't stop like how I did.
So,
Okay.
do you all have these two, these check sheets?
Yeah.
So everybody, you should keep your own copy of this. The check sheet.
So, Dr. Trout, so what social work, field seminar, field practicum, are those taken at the same time?
Senior year. And it's 15 hours, and that allows you to take one more online class. Like if you were behind, you could take it online. But this is Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5. Some people go to Dr. Hunt.
Do I get paid?
You know, that is a good question. We're working towards that. Like if you were really good to have VA might. I never got paid for any of my internships. I know that's not the answer you're looking for, but recently they are trying to add that in. So yes, this is your senior year. You can take all of these like junior and first semester senior year. One elective. Oh, this is the one you get paid for, child welfare. If you do child protective services and then your internship is at child protective services, and then we added child welfare 2, when you graduate in May and give 1 year to work for child protective services, they give you a $5,000 or $10,000 sign-on bonus. Right. Along with that scholarship. So that would be like 10,000 twice.
So what other CEC, whatever things are there? in mental health?
Scholarships, you mean, or CBH, community behavioral health? I don't know if CPS counts as that.
So what are, so what is a,
Probably like Lighthouse Youth Services.
oh, and they.
Yeah, they have one in Dayton. They have one in Cincinnati too. Yep. So I always go over this because I want you guys to. Do you all have 60 hours or 90 if you're juniors or seniors? Does everybody in here have 60? Yes or no? So do you have at least 30? Okay. So as long as you have 30, you'll graduate on time. If you did like 18-hour semesters, you can graduate in 3.5 years if you wanted to. Yeah. Yeah, if you take 18 every, because here's the magic number at the end. See this? This is how you graduate right here. See that? It used to be 128 and we lowered it for you guys to 120. We took 8 hours off so you could get out basically 4 years, 15 hours every semester. But if you did 18 every semester, what is that? Do you? You could, and some people do summer classes too. Some people finish in 3 years, 3 to 3.5. You just have to make sure to take all of these. So you get all these done, all those done. You have your degree, and so does it kick you off? You guys going to any conferences like either Ohio NASW is in Columbus or Council on Social Work Education this year is in Atlanta? You don't have to, but a lot of times they give student rates that are really cheap and like $38 airfare if you can pack it all in a book bag. That's exciting.
Sure can.
Isn't that crazy? There is one in Columbus. That's usually October.
So how do we find out about those? Like something that, who would tell us about that?
Yourself.
Oh,
Isn't that tricky? You can just sign up as a regular student. So here's the
do we have to
NAS.
pay for it?
Sometimes students, they just let you in for free. So that's NASW Ohio. This year it is November 15th. So I had it wrong until November 17th. Oh, is that Ebony Speaks? That's crazy if that's Ebony. You think that's Ebony? She used to teach here? No way. I would be confused. So here's your NASW Ohio. It's fun to go to conferences, but they do get expensive after a while. You're like,
My name is Dr. Ebony Speaks Hall. I am a professor at Central State University. I'm also
That's
vice
not true.
president at NASW on the national level.
Hi, my name is Mark Hamar, and I'm a social worker and an NASW member since 1989.
I'm a member of the NASW because of the phenomenal networking experiences that we have as a profession. It allows me to create relationships, to cultivate community with social workers that are doing amazing work. Being a part of the NASW allows for this camaraderie and relationship building that gives us a cohesion in our profession. So,
I chose to become an NASW member when I was an undergraduate student at
Whoa.
the university, and that was greatly encouraged by all of our instructors. Felt that having an affiliation with a professional organization raised our credentials as social workers was a move shortly after they developed licensure in the state of Ohio, and it was also important in terms of maintaining my credentials as a qualified social worker.
My name is Jody Davis. I am a nurse and a social worker on LISWS in the state of Ohio.
So they're kind of.
I think advocacy is important because there are misrepresentations about our profession. This is a very common profession that we work in public child welfare and that we take people's kids. And I think it's important that we advocate and educate the public about all the different arenas that social workers work in.
Social workers are everywhere and all over in all these different roles. So one of the nice things about the NASW is it can unify those people and remind us of our values as social workers and help us help each other with making sure that we have the rights that we deserve.
NASW member has helped my career by growing professionally with attending conferences, CEUs, networking. I have gotten many of my jobs based on relationships that I've had within the NASW. So my name is Victoria Marion. I'm a clinical social worker from Cleveland, Ohio. The most impactful benefits to me to be a member of NASW is we're the CEO. You cannot beat it. You cannot beat the cost. Also knowing that there's somebody that I can call and someone's going to answer the phone and it's not going to be a recording and I don't have to hit 1 or 2, but I can ask for Danielle or anyone else that the association can speak to. It's given me opportunities to develop and cultivate my leadership abilities, to cultivate my advocacy skills, and I'm able to take that into the classroom today. I'm able to push students into the same areas of role model those leadership skills that I gained from the NASW.
You can comment on it. All right.
If I have like a teacher to go with me,
Right.
I go by myself.
I know. I hear you. Are you from Columbus?
Absolutely not.
Okay, right. That's what I would say. It's tricky to navigate new cities. So
I mean, I would like to. It's probably at the nationwide center.
I don't know. It's usually in Columbus.
Yeah,
It's, anybody here from Columbus?
I live in Springfield, so everything.
Okay.
is in Columbus. But
So,
I would go if it was a group of people that went.
right. Which maybe the social work, student social work, SW, student social work
If
organization.
the class went, I would go.
Right. The hardest part is I gotta drag all my 3 kids with me.
Why would you drag your 3 kids?
That's just how it is. Like to help, that would be her break time on the weekend. So I like.
Oh, it's on the weekends?
It probably, that's a good question. Now that you asked that way, let's see here. It says November, what did it say? 15th. So let's see what this says. Maybe it is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Wednesday through Friday.
I also help out a ton at night too. Like I feel like she loses her mind when I'm surprised I got to go to Atlanta, and I feel like if I did 2 in 3 weeks.
Why would we have to go out for days? Why would we just go on our class day?
True. In the past, they would do something that's called Advocacy Day, and you always go to the Capitol That's more in graduate school. So like the whole class does go to the capital of whichever state you're in to go visit. So that's in your graduate school. We could rally the troops and figure that out. That's a lot of planning, but you know, we still have 2 months. Just go like on class day and do a day trip.
We don't
I
have to go to
know.
all the conferences. You could
Right.
pick which
Just
one you think
go
would be
and like
beneficial
see
that
what's
day.
on Thursday, which is our class day, and then return home. That's an idea.
You know, the college could pay for our lunch.
I know, right? I know. I wish they had more money to do stuff like that. But yes, okay. You got me brainstorming at least. I like this idea. So, did you all take all of these already? Math, English. So those are what you need to do that application that's like during Thanksgiving. And you put all your grades in there and meet up with me and I was about to say Ebony. Ebony worked here 3 years ago, but then UC offered her double the money to come down to UC. I would probably go too, but because here they pay us like $49.50. I'm pretty sure they give you 6 figures at UC. That's big money. So she is now the dean at UC and in the social work program, and that's where we have the all-expensive paid-for trip to the University of Cincinnati this year, if you guys want to go. So just like the Ohio State one where they said, like, individually, just email me. Did she ever get back to you guys? Did she? No. So she's like booking it and everything for real? Okay, y'all about to get 3 trips out of the whole school year. So either in October or November, we'll also go to UC for at least one night. Well, they do that as a big charter bus from here, if you choose to. They usually want it to be juniors and seniors, but last year they took sophomores when it didn't fill up all the way. So like people from our class and like circulating names around. Could I answer any questions at all for you guys? Yes. Check sheet?
No, the D2L group with social work.
You're in that one?
I'm not.
Oh, you mean the new hub she made for like all students?
Yeah.
They probably think you're a psych major.
It still says cycle model.
Okay, because that's something you can actually change on your own. Did you know that? Let me show you. Switch gears with my brain. Kids take all the brain power out of your head, and like by the end of the day, you're just like you're confused. All right, so the place you change your major at is it's called incomplete and grade change. Let's see if it'll open. Sometimes a little window pop up over here. So it says student use. A student may do grade appeal online major declaration. It's called online student major declaration. Let's see if this is open. Hey, oh, it is popping up. These things. Here's what it looks like. There it is.
Is that self-service?
It looks like a docs page, so I could like pop into announcements. Would that work? Okay, because you would do that and fill out your, what's that called? So one of you all said you have her as a teacher.
No. Who's that?
She is the online guru. And I now see why in-person classes are easier than online classes. Online classes look like a lot of work, which is fine, but she's who certifies you to go online. How many of y'all take online classes at all? Like, do you like them better or are they harder? Are they harder or are they?
It's just, I need that, like, face-to-face. I be having questions like that I be needing answers right then and there. I be wanting to show my work and stuff, go over. Like I take environmental science online, and that's cool because like I can do my work and I don't even care about that. But sometimes
I'll send you an announcement so it goes to your email and to your announcements.
It was a great class because I cheated. Wasn't nobody checking up on me. All my
Stats.
tests wasn't on camera. I took stats for human and behavioral sciences though, so it really wasn't nothing.
Stats is terrible.
Stats is
Cause it's not math.
I think y'all
Right.
overthinking it. Cause even when I didn't cheat,
It could be
was, like,
easy.
easy to understand.
Right.
Especially the human and behavioral
People get
one, though.
scared
It was
by-
literally percentages and just like
So in
figuring out populations and testing and stuff like that.
in grad school to get your doctorate, you have to take 7 quarters of statistics.
Oh.
That's why it. So you would have been like the introductory level, then you take 6 quarters after that, which means 2 full years because quarters are 3 per year, whereas semesters are 2 per year. So 6 would be like 2 full years of stats. And you did round 1 of it. That's why I always like get sick to my stomach when I hear stats. But you're right. At undergraduate level, they will pull you through. They put you in groups. They let you do like easy stuff so you get through it. And it was so I understand what the research articles are saying and things of that nature. So that is where we're at. What also, we were finishing our chapters. We don't move fast on this one if you haven't noticed yet. Dubois and Miley? No, you guys are Ashford. Because we are about to get into infant mortality. Yeah. Did you all know how bad infant mortality is in the Midwest? It's worse here than it is anywhere else in the United States.
Oh wow.
Which is sad.
Yeah, that is.
So rates of infant mortality in the U.S. are higher than most developed nations, which is weird. Because you would think we're in the United States, we'd be better than everybody. Mortality rates are 6% for white infants, 14.1% for black infants. Hispanic is similar to whites.
14.1.
Isn't that nuts?
Very.
Like that stat stands out to me more than anything. Like, because it's double. The primary reason for death among white infants was congenital abnormality, so I guess that's heart, and for African Americans was low birth weight. What do you think contributes to those differences, and then what are some policy implications for that? They already have started policy. What do you guys think? There's your announcement. Yay. It comes on Pulse. So right now it's just genogram and ecomap. That one's probably due next week. If it's still in here, it says course activities, assignments. It's probably next week. Then in October, presenting on a major mental health disorder. So that's what's coming up. You give a presentation. Okay. And then this. So this is the one that this is the year you guys apply. If you're a sophomore or a junior, you can apply to the social work program, and you basically fill out the what's it called? You said it didn't open in Word for you, or like you couldn't type on it. But if you copy and paste it into Word, here's how you get to it. So I have to click there, and it's our application that's online. So you can all of you can fill this out as long as you're done with your 30 hours and have taken those 4 or 5 primary classes. You fill this out, and then you just meet up with me and Nikita about it. And then, like I said, none of you are behind because look how many hours of electives you have. If you only have 49 here and 48 over here, that's 97 hours. So you have 23 hours of electives that you get to mess around with. That's a lot.
I don't know how to see my grades.
It's usually in Banner. So you go into here. You ever seen this login page? Oh, of course it's not going to work for me when I want it to. It's called Banner. So you guys have to go into like Chaz Banner Pro.
This is my first semester here, so I don't know. Is that the same place?
Banner? Yeah. Yeah, it's always been the same.
So you go to centralstate.edu first?
You could, yes. I don't know how to get to it from there, but let me
Oh,
see
so
if,
the website is.
is it on, I think you do. So it looks like this, which is weird to me.
Okay, I have that. That's self-service.
And then I only get to it on Safari.
And then you wouldn't go to student next?
And then, yeah, it's this thing. So this is where you guys also drop and add classes. You can like look up, or for you, it'll look a little different, but it'll say like transcript and
So we click transcript. I don't think my grades are on there.
you might get midterm grades come October or November.
No, like for the social work 1100.
Oh, did you take that already?
Yeah, I've taken those.
At another school though?
Right.
So it's your transfer stuff then you're saying?
Right, I don't see the grades on there.
Usually they don't transfer grades, they just transfer credits. So like you'll have 90 credits with no GPA. It's really kind of weird in my
It does
opinion.
show my GPA though. I'll show you.
Okay. I know we were finishing the line. Did I even stop it in the right place? But did I answer any other questions for you guys? Because I know we're like right at.
Oh, okay, never mind. Does TB and transfer?
Yes,
B and-
it does.
Okay.
TA is transfer A, TB is transfer B, TC. They might not transfer Bs.
Yeah, I didn't ever get.
That might be the only grade they don't transfer. This is the second half of the line about poverty and like the clients we serve and whatnot. But I wanted to make sure we answered every question and finished the last 2 slides here. So like having a baby, why do you think poverty is a risk factor when you have a baby? Yes, that's a good answer. Yeah. A lot of times it's nutrition too, and like safety and neighborhoods and diet and environment and yeah. Like if you didn't have air conditioning, so you're like sitting in this sweltering heat. Yeah, and that stresses you out, which in turn stresses the baby out. Like there's a lot of different things. Like, and if you're not eating the right balanced diet, if all you ate was, I'm trying to think of a junk food. Give me some.
Chips.
Yeah, if all you ate was chips, will that baby develop properly?
No,
Right.
definitely.
You want some greens or some like salad or spinach or what else is healthy?
Chicken.
Nuts and fruit and chicken. Yeah, chicken will be great for the protein. I'm a weird vegetarian. I'd eat pickles every day. Pickles and ice cream.
Would you like that?
That's a pregnancy diet.
I was about to say, is you pregnant?
Ben can get pregnant now, I guess.
They have the same symptoms. Like y'all be getting nauseous too. And y'all be sleeping a lot. You were sleeping a lot when your wife was pregnant.
I was probably, because of the money thing, I have 3 or 4 different jobs. Because well, it helps to wait until you're in your 30s. I was 42 for my first child. My wife was 35. Not to say you can plan it that easily, but you know, like it is what it is. But if you're able to save and prepare, it does say, why do you think this is? 1 in 4 women are physically abused during pregnancy.
I don't know why that would happen.
Like you think you fight more, or you're like, I done told you, or it was like,
Because they were vulnerable.
yeah, because it's a stressful situation coming down the pike.
I think they're just stressed.
So that increases the risk of miscarriage or low birth weight. Hmm.
During pregnancy.
So that's 25%. That's like a quarter. The stats
That's a
say,
lot.
right.
And you're not supposed to, especially now.
Right. So choose partners, you know, like planfully in a way, like if you can choose planfully, so you don't get into that. And then the last slide, we'll get on to the chapter 4, but prenatal information is like gestation, birth, and the newborn. Like how much it weighs and everything, how many weeks it went. Usually when I get to the 38th week. Yeah, now we start this next one. Chapter 1 and chapter 5. Because in HBSE 2, you guys will go into a lot of these. But infancy is good. So I'll finish the last 20 minutes of this, but that is all we're at this point.
We're not going out to eat. We gotta do whatever mama's got to cook. It was disappointing from my mother's point because I wanted to give them the best. And I always thought when I had my children, I was going to be able to shower them. That was my desire, as I think most parents. That was my desire, but I wasn't able to do that.
She's talking about buying them stuff too. So just as a stressor. This guy's in Louisiana. That's loud. Super loud.
I was born and raised in this little town called Davant, Louisiana, in 1945. Just about everyone in this community had done fishing of one type or another, either crab fishing, shrimping, or oystering, at least part-time. It was a wonderful way to make a living. God gave us a heaven here, a gold mine. It was there for the taking. Anyone that wanted to make a good, honest living could do it. All they needed was a strong back and a little bit of brains. No matter what time of year it was, you were either shrimping, crabbing, dredging oysters. A person that didn't have any work could come to this marina, go by the conveyors where they were unloading in the evening, and hey, I need a job. Okay, show up here tomorrow morning. You had a job. The people of this area, the entire area, depend on the environment. They depend on what God gave us. And God gave us a lot down there. But we didn't know how to take care of it. Just a falling empire, slowly flowing through my head. Had someone told me 10 years ago that this place would be this dormant, I'd never believed it. I never would have believed it. But it's happened, and it's happened so quickly. It's just unimaginable. I don't know if it's because of the natural disaster that we had with Katrina or the oil spill. The natural resources are not there anymore. The coastline is washing away. There's places that when I was in high school, we used to go out and hunt rabbits. And now those places don't exist. They're all water. They're gone, completely gone. It's a minimum or an average of 3 years before that oyster's ready for the market to be harvested. Next year, there'll be no oysters. For 3 years, there won't be any oysters. And This year we had a very low harvest of shrimp. So what's gonna happen? I don't know. I don't have any confidence in the future. Unless we get a drastic change, a sudden change in the amount of seafood and the prices,
Yeah, we can go over
there's
when this
no
is
way
over.
that I can continue to this survive.
Term me. Okay.
Because all I'm doing now is losing money.
Okay.
I just can't do it. The numbers don't add up. They just don't add up. Okay. I don't worry about myself that much. It's only just me and Bonnie. We'll survive. But my children, I worry about my children. This community, I've seen a change not only with income, but I can see a change in the people. The people that are still here are not happy anymore. The people were always jolly. They didn't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow was taken care of. And now everyone's worried. They're all stressed. Catholic Charities was here up until last week paying people's utilities for them. They couldn't pay them. And now they're gone. They left last week. So a lot of these families that were dependent on that, they don't even have that now. So in this great United States, believe it or not, we're going to have people down here that are going to have their electricity cut off. And they're going to be living that way. I hope that it gets better. But deep down inside, being realistic, I don't see it. It's just a culture, the whole culture is gone.
Poverty is struggling to make things work. When you have to struggle paycheck to paycheck, it's poverty. You try to fight yourself out of it, but you can't. You can't. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, with my two sisters and my brother, my mother, and my father, until my father decided to just leave the house and leave us by ourselves, which hurt my mother mentally and got her unstable. We would have never survived if welfare didn't approve us and we were getting food stamps every month. And no, me by myself, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And I had to give up going to college. Went down to the racetrack in New York City with a friend of mine, started hot walking horses coming off the track. And that's where I started working, which was at the racetrack, and turned around and did it for 22 years. It was every day, 365 days a year, and that was it. There was never a day off. I came here to North Carolina after I stopped working at the racetrack. And when you come off of that, everybody's like, okay, so what skills do you have? It's like, you really don't. You know, I had the skill of putting horses on the racetrack. I was in the shelter 3 months. It's a hard thing because North Carolina, the unemployment rate is 9.4. It's one of the highest in the United States. Being in the shelter, I wasn't ashamed of it. I did it on my own. I wasn't there because I used drugs, because I was an alcoholic. I refused to sleep in the street. I wasn't going to get put in jail for sleeping in the street. Every day I used to get up, get dressed, and go out to look for a job and stuff like that. And then when I found out about Jim Noble's restaurant and the church services that they have here, and I introduced myself.
It is a 501c faith-based, not-for-profit restaurant. That's unusual. In fact, there's not been many done like this, I don't think. And it really has two parts. One is to help raise money from a non-profit steady. We're going to give all the profits away to help feed the poor. Secondly, King's Kitchen Restoration Program, which is a discipleship, life-changing program to help people get back on their feet through on-the-job training, obviously, Bible study, discipleship. Even though it's a ministry, we also are a restaurant, and we have to compete, and we have to execute, and we have to run the restaurant right, or the whole thing will fall. And this is not an easy industry to be in anyway. Restaurant business is tough.
In front of you, beside you. I came here and I volunteered here, and they threw me as a dishwasher. I've never worked in a restaurant before. Cole, we got a 4-top getting up. And it shocked everybody how fast I pick it up. When I put my mind to something that I really want to do, I know I could do it. I'll come with a big tray. Thank you for calling King's Kitchen this afternoon. This is James. How can I assist you? One day, Chef Jesse came up to me. He goes, we all came together. We're hiring you. I said, you're kidding. He goes, you start tomorrow. Would you like me to take your plate from you?
Thank you. Yes.
Is everything okay? Please come back. And when I started working here, they worked with my hours down at the shelter. They saved me a bed. And when I got my first paycheck, I looked in the paper and saw this place and took the bus down there, filled out the application, and there was a 1-bedroom apartment ready. And that was the last time the shelter saw me. When I got off the bus, I put my hand in my pocket and I had the keys to my own place. And when I opened up the door, I was like, you're home. The first thing that I did, I called up my 2 sisters and my brother, and your brother is just fine. Your brother's fine. And my sister goes, you right in the shelter? I said, yep. He said, I got my own place and everything. Adam, these are the only dishes that don't match over here. 8 months later, I'm still here. I'm the head busboy. Please come again. I love working. I don't stop. When I come in the morning, I get here an hour before my shift starts. How you doing? How's everything? My income right now, I would make in a year between about $11,000 to $15,000. People in poverty live in poverty-stricken areas. People who have money don't even go close to where those people live. You think they worry about who's living on the street? No, because they were never part of it. And if you're not part of it, why think about it? Try to climb the ladder by yourself sometimes. It's hard. I don't judge people, and I hope that people don't judge me, and that's how I've always lived.
I think hope is important for people who are in poverty because that's the only thing that's going to stop them from making a desperate move to make life better. If you have no hope and you don't think Superman's coming, you may jump yourself. And when I say jump, I don't mean killing yourself. I mean making rash decisions and doing things that may be even uncharacteristic for yourself, but because you're so desperate.
We cannot be silent while that happens. We cannot say, oh, well, that's on them. No, systems need to be broken to stop poverty too. Policy needs to change in order to stop poverty. And there need to be people in place who can properly change policy to help poverty. At the same time, there are people who are poor who need to know that there's a way out of this and need to know that they are more than their poverty. Because I believe that if we tell people that they are better than they think they are, that they will do better than they think they can.
This is not the end of us. We will shine like stars.
Every other day, you'll see like gang violence going on outside of the school or kids fighting. But what really keep me calm is either drawing or playing basketball.
We bring young people in, and most of them have already either dropped out or are in situations where they're not doing well in school. Where I come from, this component is around adding creativity to their life. Creativity and dignity, the two key words here, and saying, okay, you have not only something to learn in terms of math and science towards getting your GED, but you have a story to tell. You've seen something. And what I want to do is help you tell that story. We want to help you tell that story because once you can tell that story, you can own your life. You own your identity. So helping them to tell those stories is one way of giving them hope in the midst of what they're going through. Poor is not what you are. Poor is part of what you are, and it's a situation that can change.
This is not the end. This is not the end of this. We'll open our eyes wide, wide. This is not our last. This is not our last breath. We will open our eyes.
I started a nonprofit called Born to Be Light, and I came up with a pledge. Born to Be Light is a nonprofit organization dedicated to the aggressive promotion of nonviolence. And they take the pledge, and the pledge is right on front, and it says, I wear this band to take a stand against violence. I pledge to be the change you see in my home and community because I'm a light. So I go around to the schools and communities and functions, and I have the people wear the bands. I have them take the pledge, and it works. It really works. So I'm not just sitting back waiting for somebody to give me something. I'm trying to help myself. I'm trying to help my community. I understand that people might look at me and say, well, you're getting a handout. You're on disability. But I promise you, if I could be anything but on disability, I would. And I've done everything that I can do to make myself better. I've written a book. I've gone back to school. I do outreach programs. I do everything that I'm supposed to do. So the fact that I'm still on disability is through no fault of mine. But since my accident, I haven't had one day that I haven't had pain, but it hasn't stopped me from going to school and being on the dean's list and a president's scholar. It hasn't stopped me.
This is not the end. This is not the end of us. We will shine like a star.
mechanics. You know, I'm working. I do computers. I do art and music. I'm doing fire safety to try to become a fireman. Though I am poor, I do not consider myself poor because I feel like as long as there is a person watching over me, as long as I'm connected with my family, and as long as my legs and body work and I'm able to go out and make some money, there's no way that I will feel poor.
These are some of the first clients that we may get. It could be poverty's affecting them, housing, food increases. Some of those stats we put up last week were a little bit shocking to me, just that it's now about eight times the annual income to buy a house right now. So like the annual income is about 51,000. And the average home nationwide is 400,000. Around here, it might be 300,000, but that's still expensive. That's 6 times the annual income. Same with cars. I guess cars are now an average price, a new sticker price. Any of you know what that is for a new car? Average. We used to buy junkers for 500, and they would drive 100,000 miles, no problem. Just
What happened to the?
01 and 02. Buy like an old Honda Accord for $500, and it might have different colored doors and stuff, but I was okay with it. And what's that? I know some people get hung up on that, so I understand. I get it. Yeah, I guess you could take the time to paint it. We never did. We just had a blue hood and.
I mean, for 500 though, that's not bad.
I know. And what's funny about it too, my brother bought that, and I think he drove 100,000 miles, and he sold it for 500 again.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was Hondas and Toyotas back then. So
What happened? Why is it so expensive?
printing money. So I understand that it is an important way that we fund our federal government, but to do money creation out of nothing is also slightly problematic because now you've got double the money supply buying the same amount of goods. So it will double their cost. So that is our intro into, now we're in infancy. So a lot of this stuff, again, poverty being a big part of affecting that. We'll start on these ones next time, but a lot of the programs that we do, and these are where they hire in social work still, like the Head Start program was in 65. Early Head Start was in 1995. We had increased recognition in early 1960s of the consequences of poor early child development. So like those first 3 years are so important for our upbringing. They didn't really have too much research on it in the past. They used to be like, oh, you were a baby, you don't remember stuff until you're 3, you'll be fine. It's okay if you're traumatized. You won't remember it. But the truth is the body remembers. Yeah, like if your cortisol rate is spiked, it affects brain development. They talk about that in the Paper Tigers movie and some of the poverty or trauma documentaries. So high infant mortality, historically, the main developmental task in infancy was survival. So before the 1800s, like 1 out of every 2 or 3 kids died, like kids just didn't make it. Then we got antibiotics and things that helped. Now, I always explain it this way. What do you think the world population is now, and what do you think it was in 1945? You are right. I think we actually just crossed 8 billion people.
Really? Oh wow.
Because it's fast. And then when my dad was born in 45, we had only 2 billion people. When my sister was born in 1971, we had 3 billion people. When I was born in 78, there's 4 billion. My little sister was born in 86, we had 5 billion. In 1999, we had 6 billion. I think in 2010, we had 7 billion. Now we've got 8 billion.
very rapid. Like,
It
in
is.
less than 10 years, it's like a billion more.
It is. So we'll probably go another billion in 5 years at this point.
Oh,
So
yeah, don't even say that.
it's very, very possible. Definitely stressful. So we'll get into that one next time, but we've got a lot of the infancy, child development, and then the social consequences. So as social workers, knowing